name is Rosana Mendoza, and my topic for today is the Liberty Bell. Nowadays, we take everything for granted. We literally have everything made. We can practice any religion that we choose. We can pursue education without having to hide. And most importantly, we have equal rights. But all these freedoms and rights took a lot of hard work to obtain. So it's important to take a step back into history and understand and appreciate the story of America. The Liberty Bell ties in all these rights and is seen as a symbol for our freedoms. So today I would like to inform you all about the history, significance, and impact on the Liberty Bell, and then what it has on us Americans. The Liberty Bell was first made to honor the 50th anniversary of William Penn's Charter of Privileges, and this was Pennsylvania's original constitution, and this speaks about the religious freedoms, Native American rights, and inclusion of citizens in enacting laws. And mainly, this involved freedoms and rights valued by people all over the land, not just one piece of property. So, what they decided to use on the bell, the quote was, "Proclaim liberty throughout all the land and to all the inhabitants thereof." And this comes from the Bible under Leviticus chapter 25, verse 10. And this verse goes all the way around the top edge of the bell. Now, the main reason why this was chosen, because this describes what Penn's Charter was: privileges and freedoms through people all over the land. And even more, what they saw more of a sign was because the line next to this line says, "And ye shall hallow the 50th year." Hallow meaning bless and to honor. So 50 years was how many years they were celebrating, and also what they saw there was no other better way to pay homage to William Penn. Now, the Liberty Bell was ordered from London and Whitechapel Foundry, and if you would like to order a bell for yourself, you can, because they're still in business. And instructions on what was going to be inscribed on the bell and all sorts of details were sent as well. Now, the Liberty Bell weighs around 2,000 pounds, and it's made of copper and tin. The bell arrived in Pennsylvania on the 1st of September in 1752, but it wasn't hung in the State House steeple until 1753 in March. However, when this was first ordered, the original name was State House Bell, and I'll get to that later. So in March 1753, when they first hung it, that was when they first rung it to hear the sound, and that was also the first crack. The first crack. So two Philadelphia foundry workers named John Pass and John Stowe were given the bell to be fixed. They did fix the bell, but whenever they received it back, they weren't pleased at all with the sound. So Pass and Stowe took it back again to fix it. So that's why Pass and Stowe is inscribed on the bell, because they were the ones who fixed the bell. And even yet, they still weren't pleased with the way it sounded. So what they did was they gathered friends together, and they bought a new bell from Whitechapel Foundry. Whenever they compared the two bells, this bell sounded a whole lot better. So that's why they stuck with this bell instead of the old bell that they originally had. So those are mainly the two quotes that are on the bell. And so finally, the Liberty Bell was able to hang in its place in the State House steeple, and later on, that was renamed to Independence Hall. In 2003, a Liberty Bell Center was made, so it would become the Liberty Bell's new home, which where it is now. So they didn't want to forget the bell's original home, so whenever they built it, they made sure that it was aligned well with Independence Hall, because that's where it was the original home, and they weren't going to forget that that's where it originally came from. So now that I've covered some of the history and how the bell was made and why it was made, I can now move on to the importance of it. The bell gained its importance because it was rung for several important assemblies and for various rights and freedoms that we have today, which I'll get to that later. Now, the bell, like I said, it was first named as the State House Bell. The first people who would use it as a symbol were the anti-slavery movement, for the abolitionists. They used it as a symbol for freedom to get freed from slavery. They used the name Liberty because liberty described what was said on the bell also. So since this was used and it gained importance, it was used for pretty much everything since then. It ran for several occasions, such as ratifying the Constitution. It ran for the deaths of George Washington, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson, and most importantly, it ran for the Declaration of Independence. However, it did not ring on 4th of July, 1776, because the document was written and signed on that day. That day, it was sent to the printing, and it didn't come back till 4 days later, July the 8th. So the bell didn't ring for that occasion until July the 8th, 1776. Now, historians still debate about that, but more than likely it is true because it was signed that day and they did have to send it to be approved. So in this celebration, they rang the bell, called people together, and that's when they first read and heard the Declaration of Independence. So it has a lot of importance and significance, and it holds a lot of history. And it was also rung to call people together to talk about the Tea Act, the Stamp Act, and the Sugar Act. And even more, not only did it have significance or importance, but it also had impacts on people. The abolitionists used it as a symbol to give slaves and African Americans their freedom. And even more, women made a replica of the bell, and it was called the Justice Bell. Now this bell traveled all over the country silently with the clapper changed, the clapper thing in the middle that makes a noise. They changed it to the side, and it was quiet and silent and traveled everywhere until women won the right to vote. And finally, in 1920, they got what they were looking for. And that bell, in 1920, they took the bell to Independence Hall, and that bell was rung. That bell was rung in celebration of the 20th Amendment, which gave women the right to vote. And the most famous crack in history that's still there today, it occurred whenever it rang for George Washington's birthday in 1846. When they rang it, it didn't happen right away. A few hours later, it showed up, and they put a nail in the middle so to prevent it from vibration, because the crack doesn't just stop here. You can't really see it, but there's a thin hairline crack that goes all the way to the top of the crown. So if this bell were to ring one more time, it would surely crack. So as you can see, the bell holds a lot of significance, and it's not just part of the past, because its importance in history still comes with us, still relates to the lives we have today. So today, I hope I opened your minds a little bit about history, how we gained our rights, and what to look back into to appreciate what we have, and especially those people who fought to create the lives we have today.